Well, hey everybody, and welcome to this midweek review with Mr. John. And I am here. Hey, you want to talk about Jesus? We're getting ready to. And the funny thing is, last week we talked about talking the talk, how we speak to others. Is the words that come out of our mouth pleasing to God? Are the things that we say sharp as swords and cutting people down, or are we lifting them up in what we say? Talking the talk is so important, but today we're going to talk about something different. You've heard the old phrase, talk the talk, walk the walk. Well, we're going to talk about walking the walk today. Are we living our lives in our actions in a visible way that is pleasing to God? Or are we being somebody that is more of what we would call a hypocrite? Somebody who says something or acts something that they can do really well. They say they can. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I don't think so. You can't do that. Let me give you an example. When I was growing up, I had a friend of mine who always sat there and talked about how great he was at water skiing. And we kind of just, yeah, cool, that is awesome. Water skiing, you're really good at it. Man, that's awesome. He could do all these tricks. He could spin around. He could jump the wake. He could do all this other stuff. And we were like in awe of this guy, and he'd talk these stories. And one day, one of our friends' parents had bought a boat, and they were willing to take a bunch of my friend's buddies with us to go to the lake to go water skiing. And one of the guys that was asked to go was this guy who said he was a great water skier. Now, they didn't tell us that they had brought a tow rope and water skis to go water skiing, so we all thought, oh, a day on the lake. And then as we were out boating, it came to be known that they had the stuff to water ski. So now I wasn't a good water skier at the time. I had done it maybe once or twice. I could get up, but basically all I did was kind of go behind the boat until my legs got tired, let go, and just kind of go into the water. They'd come pick me up, and then the next guy would go. And we were all anxious about the guy who could really water ski. We were like, all of us were like keyed up going, dude, this guy's going to show us tricks. He's going to do all this stuff, get the rope behind. Oh, man, it's awesome. I can't do none of that stuff. The guy didn't want to go water skiing, and we couldn't figure out why. So after a bunch of coaxing, we finally got him to go out there to go water skiing. And he gets into the water, and he's laying there, he's got his life jacket on, and the skis popped out, and he's holding the rope, and all of a sudden the guy puts his hand up, and he puts his hand down, and he's going, and he takes off, and the guy would start to come up, and he's wobbling, and all of a sudden, boom, down he goes into the water. And we go, well, that was kind of weird, but, hey, it happens to everybody. We all try to get up and we fall. So the boat comes around, gives him the rope again, and he's sitting there skiing in there, and they pull him up. And this time, as soon as the boat takes off, there goes the rope out of his hands, and it slips, So come back around, and this third time, he starts to come up, and he's wobbling all over the place. And then he, boom, crashes in the water. And it was about that point that all of us guys in the boat knew that our friend had been kind of telling us a story. He hadn't been walking the walk. He was telling us this story that he could do this, and we just witnessed that he could not. And he came to the boat, and he had to fess up. And I know that was hard for him. But do we not all do that at some point? We sit there and act like we're good at something and tell people how good we are at something, and maybe we're not so good. Or maybe we sit there and are doing things that are not pleasing to God. Now, am I living a life that is modeling Christ? I hope so. But there are times I mess up, and what happens when somebody sees it? What happens if you see somebody who says they're living a life of Jesus and all of a sudden you catch them messing up? Call them out. Tell them, saying, hey, John, you know, you're talking about being a Christian and everything, and we were walking through Walmart and all of a sudden you grabbed a pack of gum and you pocketed it, and the next thing I know, you're chomping on it in the back seat. Dude, being a Christian means we live to that standard as best we can all the time, and stealing is wrong. Guys, the quickest way to get somebody to not follow Jesus is when we claim to be followers of Jesus and we don't live like him. Sounds hard. It is hard, guys. Living a life of Jesus is hard. We have to live to a little bit higher standard than somebody who's not. If we're going to represent Jesus, we have to be sitting there living our life to know that if we do something wrong, first we need to ask for forgiveness. We need to let that go. If I say I'm not doing something that is not pleasing to God, but I'm secretly doing it, and then I get caught doing that something, are we fessing up? Guys, we see when people are doing that. We know when people are modeling certain things. I am a Patriot fan. I've discussed it a lot. And a lot of times you'll see me with Patriot hats or a Patriot shirt, especially on a Sunday. I wear Patriot garb as soon as I get home. Patriots may not be good this year, and I kind of don't think they're going to be. But as a fan, I'm going to be loyal and I'm going to watch them, right? People know I'm a Patriot fan. You walk into my office and I've got paintings that kids have painted for me. I've got little placards everywhere. I've got a rug on my floor, but something says Patriot. So people come in, they know I'm a Patriot. But here's the other thing. When they walk into my room, they see that I love Jesus. When people talk about you and they make that list of 5 things, pray that one of those things is, dude, that guy, he loves Jesus. He talks about him. He lives like him. He doesn't do the bad things. He loves him some Jesus. Be the guy that people notice that loves God. Invite your friends to church, but be there with them. Help them along the way when they struggle with some things that may be taught. Or take them to your leader and say, hey, we're having issues with this thing you talked about, Mr. John, and we would like some clarity. That's a great thing to do. So, are you talking the talk? We talked about it last week. Are you walking the walk? Don't walk in the ways of the wicked, as it says in Psalms 1. We don't want to walk that way. We want to walk in the light of Jesus. Walk his path, guys. Live like God wants us to live. Hey, I know it's hard. We're not going to do it every day. But if we keep striving, we can do it. Hey, verse is coming up. We will talk to you later. Have a good one. Have a taco. Bye. Verse for this month is, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise. Ephesians 5:15.